Hey, hey, I'm so excited. I got my Latin music on. I got the birds chirping out my window. If you see me looking out, that's what I'm doing. I'm staring at the birds and nature. I live in the forest in Canada. So welcome, I'm so excited. Today we're gonna dive into, you might see a kitty behind me too, just so you know before we start. Today we're gonna dive into eliminating the myth that maybe this is what you say to yourself, right? A lot of us do. Maybe I'm not meant to write this book. Maybe I'm just not meant to write it. And so before I get started, I want to dive in. Hi, who's joining? Hi, everyone. Before I get started, I want to say that if you leave a comment, I'm going to answer it after the live stream because I have 30 minutes to do this presentation. Yay, to stand up membership. I'm so excited to be a part of that. And I really want to give you guys tons of value in this 30 minutes, okay? So any comments and questions you have, I will be answering it after. And also, this is part of a series. So I'm going to be doing a full series about blocks that stop you from writing your book. So getting it done, getting it finished, getting it out there, getting it on Amazon, whatever you want to do. And the books I write, I'll tell you a bit about in a second. I just want to also say that I have a special offer at the end. Hi, whoever's joining, welcome. Welcome, you guys. I have a special offer at the end, so do stay to the end. And it's for diving deeper into this stuff, okay? Because like I said, I have 30 minutes on this presentation. So if you want to dive really deep, stay to the end or fast forward if you're watching the replay and check it out. I have an awesome offer that's 90 minutes long. Okay, guys, so who am I? I'm Gina Silvestri. I'm the founder of Life Stories for Success. I'm a ghostwriter and I'm a finish your book coach. And what I do is I help women who have inspiring life stories to tell. Hi, you guys, thanks for joining. Who have inspiring life stories to tell. I help you to get them down on paper, right? So to finish your book. So that is my passion. And the number one thing that we accomplish is like I said, we get your life story down on paper, but the outer goal, like your story, the people, don't mind my cat back there, she's gonna come around. The larger vision when you work with me is always to inspire other people with your book. So that is my grand vision, is to get the book babies that need to be birthed, to get them out into the world and have them doing what they were meant to be doing, which is inspiring other women. And so I want to start by sharing this little story. When I was in my 20s, I went through a really deep depression and I was so confused. You know, when you're just like so confused, you feel like you're like hanging on by a string, basically. I was going through university and I was born to be an entrepreneur, right? Hi, you guys, welcome everyone. And I was born to be an entrepreneur, always was. And, you know, I was going through school and I'm like, this life just doesn't feel like for me, what's going on? And I was just going through that, you know, just depression, that kind of zone. And I read a book. I read a couple books actually, but one of them just moved me so deeply. And it was about a woman who went through a depression. And it really helped me to just listen to her story, right? Like in detail, have her in her book, through her writing, just share with me, hi you guys, welcome. Just share with me like exactly that she knew, basically, this is what I felt, that she knew that what I was going through, right? That I wasn't alone. And you know, by the time I got to the end of the book, I was like, oh my gosh, she made it to the other side. I can too. So this is why we write books, right? But as businesswomen, we're talking to businesswomen here. Hey ladies, hey, hey. I had my Latin music on a minute ago, but I don't want it to be too loud because, yeah, I want you to be able to hear me too. And I also have birds chirping because I live in the forest, so that's why I keep looking outside too. But anyway, so when I'm talking to businesswomen, the biggest thing I like to talk about is success, right? Because as business owners, you know, the definition of a business is creating success, creating finances, right? Like creating money, right? That's the definition, creating profit. Otherwise, it's a hobby. And so what is success, you guys? Tell me in the comments below. What is success? What's your definition of success? I want to hear. I really want to hear. And I'm going to keep talking because I have 30 minutes. So I'm going to be like, right? But success to me, like how we create success, and by the way, in my business, I shared what I do. I've helped women to cross 6 figures, get their first $20,000 month. I've been a success coach since 2009. Many of you, we've interacted, a lot of us who are in this group, but a lot of you are new, and I'm so excited to connect to all the new people. But so, you know, I've created all kinds of income. I created my own first $30,000 sales week in 2015. So I've really gotten into the success mindset and the success coaching work. And so what I found, and I've duplicated that success with my clients, and what I found every single time what I've found creates success. It's very simple. It's simply connecting to people and helping them, right? That is what success is. And I've been a ghostwriter for 20 years, so I was kind of doing both businesses, right? I was like success coaching because I love that. And I was also doing my ghostwriting on the side, just kind of really not sharing about it. I've always been a writer. I love sharing. And I love sharing stories. I love sharing my stories, and I love helping other people to share their stories. And so I've done both on the side, but since COVID, I decided to blend them together and give my success coaching clients a book at the end, right? I'm like, how can I serve the world even deeper? And I started contacting all the care homes and writing books for people in there because it just hurt my heart thinking of all of them in the care homes. And, you know, I know that a lot of elderly people, hi Callie, really love to share stories. And, you know, one of the reasons I love listening to people's stories and getting them down on paper is my nonna, my Italian nonna, used to tell me stories all the time. And I just love them, like well into my 30s until she passed away. I would like listen like a little girl, tell me more stories from the old country. No, right? Like I just love stories. But success is about connecting to each other and helping other people. And what better way to create success is there than sharing our personal stories, right? That is how we bond as human beings, especially as women. That is how we bond. And since the caveman days, like since early human times, that's what we've been doing. Literally, we've been sitting around the fire, sharing stories and bonding and joining together to, you know, create bonds and social bonds and enjoy all of the benefits from that. But as business women, it literally means more sales, right? So we've all met people, and bless everybody, I've been there too, right? There's no judgment, but we've all met people who just tell you what they do, right? And I know at networking events, sometimes you have like 30 seconds and you're like, oh, here's what I do, hurry up kind of thing, right? But, you know, don't we love the speakers at those events who tell their personal stories? And when they tell their stories, don't they stick in our memories and we never ever forget them, right? So this is how we connect to people, the people we're meant to serve, and how we make more sales, literally, is by, you know, us bonding that deeply. Because you always have to create you always want to like have that know, like, and trust factor, as we've all heard in the marketing world. And that is how you create it, really, by telling our stories. So as business women, though, don't we all have like the issues of no time? Like writing a book, especially a personal story, takes time and energy, emotional energy too, because we go through some of the experiences again that we've been through. Anything we want to tell and share in our personal story, we're like rehashing it, right? So it takes energy. It takes skill too. It takes lots of skill to write a book, to integrate, to present it in an empowered way, which is what I specialize in. I love sharing stories, always in integrity, but sharing it in an empowered way. And also like money, right? A lot of women, I was there too, like, gosh, do I ever have the money story? I had to work through it. I think that's why I broke through and created so much profit in my business, is because I was just like, I am sick of living like this, right? So you can see my videos online. I've been online for 10 plus years now, since 2009, talking about money and helping women like through their money stuff, because it can keep you busy for a lifetime, you guys. Stories and stories and stories for days, right, on that stuff. And so I really love helping women in a powerful way. And the issue can come up of, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money to write my book, right? So these are all the things that over time get us to believe that maybe I'm just not meant to write my book. Like it hasn't happened until now. I haven't gotten it done. Years have gone by and it's still not done. So maybe I'm just not meant to write it, right? And so that is what the myth is. And now what I'm going to do is go into why we fall for it. So I want to explain to you exactly why we fall for it and how to fix it so that we can actually get our books done and selling, okay? Because by the way, like not only is having a book as a businesswoman kind of like your business card. I've heard people call books that a lot, right? It's like your business card. It's that important. But also it creates a passive income stream for you, which who doesn't want to make money while they're sleeping, regardless of what your main business is, right? So it's win-win. It's amazing. But we do have these things that I just talk about, the time, the energy, the skill, like, and I forgot to mention too, like you don't like writing. Like a lot of people hire me as a ghostwriter because they don't like writing. So they'd rather tell me their story, and I love that, or send me audios or whatever, like notes, whatever they want to share, and then I put it together for them. So there's that too. There's all of these reasons that stop us. But today, I'm going to share the biggest reason, which is the biggest benefit. So it's like a coin, right? There's a flip side of the coin, right? So it's the biggest reason to write your book and get it done, and why it creates success, and how to really eliminate this myth that you're not meant to write it, right? So I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you the other flip side. Okay, so the deepest reason to write your book and to get it out there and to like knock this myth out of the park, right? Like just knock it out of your system so you don't ever have that thought again. Because how does that help, right? You're looking back on the years and you're like, I never got it done. Maybe I'm not meant to do it. But how does it help to keep thinking that? All it does is keep you in that spot and keep your book from not getting done. And so the biggest reason though, and you can't know this reason unless you've written a book yourself. Can you hear the birds? They're so lovely. And that reason is the personal integration that you go through. Okay, so here's what I mean. When we go through trauma or we go through major life experiences, which are the life experiences that we share in our books sometimes, and you know, there's certainly the ones, like I said at the beginning, if that woman hadn't shared how deeply she went into depression and how she got through and like really shared from her whole guts and her heart, right? Then she wouldn't have changed my life, like helped me move my mountain and get onto the other side, because I have tears in my eyes. Like I was really alone at that time, right? Like it was really scary, and I was young and I was really alone. I'm 46 now, but I was in my 20s. And so like to get deep into that, what we do is we go to those places that are kind of dusty and shadowy, and the places that have been split off. So I have a psychology degree. I could talk about that forever, trauma. I was a counselor. I also worked as a counselor too before I started my businesses. But you know, the main point that I just want you to, the main concept that I want you to understand is when we go through trauma, we disconnect. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Chelsea. We disconnect from parts of ourselves. Okay. So what happens when you go through the trauma, your brain and your nervous system is so overwhelmed, it can't fully process the trauma. So here's a circle, right? And here's it processing in a circle. It can't complete the loop of processing it, because it's just, the system is overwhelmed. It's like something frying, like just burning out, right? Like frying literally, right? So it can't process it. So, you know, that's why there's treatments like EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization processing. I've actually gone through that. It's not for everybody. Some people hate it, but I really liked it. And what it does is it like completes that loop, right? So you can get onto the other side. But writing your book is something that is above and beyond like any kind of treatment or trauma therapy or anything like that we could have, because we really go through each of it and we like each step and we complete that loop for our nervous system so it doesn't keep fritzing all day long. And by the way, take tons of our energy all day long as our brain, like imagine a machine just trying to do its job and it can't, right? So it's expending all this energy, like going partway to the circle, and it can't, and it has to go back and circle around, and the loop never gets finished or completed or closed, right? So writing this book is just like beautifully closing all of those holes energetically and intellectually and mentally, and all of it just like beautifully merging back together. Because even in shamanism, which I love, you know, they say that when you go through something hard, you need to call back the parts of yourself back into your wholeness and your oneness, right? Because the books that we write from our wholeness, from our soul, from our gut, from our visceral power, right? As opposed to just in our mind and playing mental gymnastics. We've all read books that are like, oh, that was good, and it like I kind of understand it, but it didn't move you, right? But the books that we write like that, those are that's from the fullness of who we are, right? And I always talk about, imagine newborn babies in the newborn ward at the hospital, right? And imagine right now, like just looking in all of their beautiful faces and beautiful eyes, and you're just like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful and you're so worthy of everything in life, and you're so whole and pure, right? That's the state we were born into, and that's the state we're meant to be living in. But all of these myths and stuff come in and stop us from living out our life purpose and what we were born to do, right? So literally, writing your book allows you to go through and like clear out the cobwebs, right? And you come out, this is why I say it's even more incredible than just having a book on Amazon or just like one of the simple benefits, is because you come out on the other side as the next level of a woman that you are evolving into. Like you literally become someone that you were meant, like even more of who you were meant to be, right? And so in that process, it's like, on the other side of it, I mean, when you're finished your book, like think about coming out on that side. Like think about how your relationships will be, your intimate relationships with your partners, with your family, with your friends. you present yourself in a different way. You present yourself as more whole. You're now dealing and living through that gorgeous energy, that visceral energy, instead of up here, right? We've all been there where we just live up here, you know, like an anxious energy, our nervous system on overdrive and in reaction, right? Anxious energy or just like, you know, just like buzzing through life, trying to get everything done, pushing instead of showing up in your magnetism and your power, right? So when you're on the, like when you've written a book and you've processed your life experience so thoroughly and you've shared it and you're like now on point and in alignment with what you were born to do, literally, right? When you do that, you show up differently. And of course, you're more magnetic to clients. And of course you are like your health on all levels is just like boom, radiating, right? Like the frequency is so high. And so of course you have benefits with your health, your money, your relationships, all of it, your business, your relationships in your business, like all of it is related to success, right? So it's so exciting. And I love sharing about this because really it's just not about one area. Like a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be an extra passive income stream for me, but it's so much more than that, right? And then again, like I said, those things come in like, oh, it's not done yet. Things aren't lining up for it to be done. Maybe it's not supposed to be done. Like those are the things that come in to tear us down, right? And tear us from doing that and keep us disconnected from who we truly are and what we're really meant to be doing in this world, right? And so, and like living in a way, like I said, becoming that woman. So really it's about like getting into this energy of really anchoring in number one, why it's happening, right? And number two, I'm on number 2 and 3 actually of the list that I made at the top in the description of this video, but why it's happening and then how to fix it. So why it's happening is because I want you to think of our being, I have to look at the time, there it is. I want you to think of our being like an iceberg, okay? So above my eyebrows is like literally, this is the water line, and this is like the part of the iceberg that we can see, and this is our conscious awareness, so what we're aware of happening. So like I said, our conscious awareness is limited, right? So it's thinking, oh my gosh, it's not done yet, I haven't done it yet, things haven't lined up, I haven't gotten it done in decades, so maybe I'm not meant for it, right? But underneath is where all the other stuff happens, right? Underneath is like where all of the thing that stops you. It's all related to one thing. All of the stories, the reasons, the lack of confidence, the disconnections, like all of that happens underneath the iceberg, the part we can't see, which by the way is the biggest part of the iceberg, right? And this is why I used to call myself like an energetic mechanic. I used to go in there and this is how I helped so many women break through their income streams. It's because I would go into that place, shine the light, right? Shine the light and show them what's going on and rewire things, rewire our thoughts. This is what it's about, our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our mood states. And because all of that determines what kind of action we take every day and what kind of things we get done. Like, do we get our book done, right? Are we in alignment with what we're meant to be doing? And are our actions every day in alignment with what we're meant to be doing on the planet? And therefore, are we receiving as much as we're meant to be receiving? Right? So you go into there and you have to go into what's hidden because it's literally our blind spots. And that's why we need each other to help each other through these spots, right? Because we all have blind spots. And really like the reason why we have that terror and that fear is because our brain and our nervous system are wired to keep us safe. And anything new and different, like writing a book, becoming a new person, right? Not totally a new person, obviously, but a new version of yourself, taking your business to the next level, like taking it all to the next level, is literally danger to your nervous system because it's unknown. It's somewhere you've never been. And this is like archaic wiring, right? It's archaic, it's outdated. It's back into the Paleozoic era where like literally humans had like mammoths that could come around the corner if you're out of your cave, right? Humans had mammoths that could come out and like start chasing you. And so your nervous system is programmed to watch out for that. And literally it does that now, but it's a misassigned danger. The real danger is not paying attention to what you were born to do and paying attention to the real truth, which is that only, like, I live with bears outside my window, right? Like, we have bears here all the time, right? So for me, it's a bit higher, but for most people, there's like a 5% or less chance that they're going to get attacked by a bear or a mammoth or there's no mammoth, but you know what I mean. Like any kind of, there's only 5% of the time that that instinct really comes into play. So it's not like we want to get rid of that instinct altogether, but we want to remove the energy that it brings to us, which is the terror that causes us to freeze up, right? And that is the reason this comes out of our heads and our mouth. Maybe I'm not meant to write this book. That's the only reason. It's the terror zone that you get into. So the real danger, like I said, is not staying aligned, right? Like you were 100% born to write this book. If you have this desire, it was planted into you, like planted into you by creative intelligence, whatever you call that, by the way. I call it creative intelligence. You can call it God, you can call it soul, you can call it spirit, you can call it great spirit, you can call it Allah, source, universe, I honor every single term and name for it, right? But literally, it's planted inside of you for a reason, and you made it through on the other side of your experiences. Like you literally made it through. So you were one of the ones, not everybody makes it through the experiences you've been through, and you were one of the ones who made it through, right? And so you're like, and it's still nudging you, by the way. One of the things that my clients don't always like to hear, and I never like to hear, is that it's literally not ever going to go away. It's going to keep nudging you, right? Because of what I'm saying, because you were born for this. You were absolutely born for this. And really, like, the truth is that what's stopping us, the stuff underneath the iceberg, is just the receiving stuff, like living in an energy of receiving, like going to sleep and your PayPal's dinging while you're sleeping, right? From your book sales. And, you know, living in your power like an eagle. I've been tuning into that lately, right? Like living in your power and getting used to that. A lot of us don't have that experience and we're not used to it. So really staying in that energy and living it, and like living with ease, a lot more ease than we're living with now, right? And knocking these blocks out. Like, I can't, I don't know how, I must not be meant for it. I can't, I just don't know how, I don't know what to do. Right? Because when we're aligned, when we're attuned, we do know. There's a click that happens. We do know. I'm just watching the time there too. There's a click happens and we do know. And this is what happens with me and my clients when we first meet, right? Like there's this click that happens and we're like, oh yes. And then literally the book writes itself. But it's just about doing this work. Like how you eliminate this block and this myth is you literally shine the light on it. You see what's going on for you specifically. And honestly, this happened to me 2 weeks ago. I won't go into the whole story, but I hired a mentor for a 2-hour session for my business. And literally, boom, the light went on. Like she could see it, right? Because we need each other. And there's people like me who are gifted in this area of just being able to see and nail it, right? And she was able to do that for me. She saw what was going on. I hadn't thought of the thing that was going on in 12 years, right? I already have a book on Amazon. It wasn't about my book at all, right? She saw it, knocked out of the park, like, there it is, Gina. Put the light on it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it removed it for me, right? And then all of a sudden I was like clicked into the energy and things started to happen again. Very easily, right? Like one of the things is getting the courage to come and join this group, right? I was really scared to do it. Because when we get in our mind and we start analyzing and like having these thoughts and entertaining these thoughts, even letting them in, like, maybe I'm not meant to write this book. No, you know you're meant to. It's in your gut, it's in your soul, and that's always the truth, okay? So you bring it to the light, you take it out of hiding, and then you're able to make a quick decision. And I always like have a time limit on it, right? Because we can go into that analysis paralysis that stops us. Make a quick decision. What's needed? What do I need to finish this book? Do I need an accountability coach? Do I need like superstar mindset that Gina's talking about, right? Like, do I need to get into that and train into that and have someone write my book in that energy, right? Because by the way, our books are magnets. And in order to help people, like that woman who wrote that book when I was in my 20s, she never would have helped me unless she was in this empowered mindset and written it in a clear way, like a vulnerable way. And maybe it's emotional management. Like there's all these skills that are involved. Emotional management and managing our own emotions, right? While we're writing, and managing the rest of our lives while we're writing the deep stuff, right? There's all of this stuff comes up. When to take a break, staying in your authentic energy, right? How to go all the way and stay there, persistent and consistent as you go and to the end of the book, right? It's like running a marathon. It's awesome though. I love it. It's so fun. So it's about the steadiness, right? And so this is what I wanted to share today. This is the whole essence, is right? Like you get to take this block, literally, that maybe I'm not meant to write this book, and just like boop, remove it out of the way, right? Say that is not why I'm doing that. There's other stuff that's underneath. And it's good news. It's kind of scary to face, but it's good news, right? Because it gets you onto the other side. It literally brings you onto the other side so that you can have that book that you wrote about your biggest life experience, or maybe it's a group of experience, maybe it's your whole life, right? I deal with slice of life and whole life experiences. But you get to have that book on your bookshelf. You get to have stepped into and stand into the woman that you were meant to become. And you get to, like there's so many different reasons that clients write their books and with me. And one of the reasons is like just to have it on their bookshelf for themselves. Maybe you don't want to share it with anybody in the world. That's cool, right? It's for you. There's so much benefit just in that. Or maybe you want to share it with your family. I've like visited a 92-year-old woman and got to write her whole story just for her family. That's all she wanted. She didn't want to publish it anywhere, just for her family, right? Because it's so true. My personal trainer, she's actually in this group. She mentioned it to me once. I got a little thing here. She mentioned it to me once when she found out what I was doing for people in long-term homes. She's like, you know what? That's so valuable because we can never get back our memories, right? Like literally when our elders pass on, we can't get those memories back. So that's how valuable it is, right? And I was like, that's so true, thank you. And I was just like in the COVID energy, like helping people, right? So I mean, it sounds so obvious, but I just hadn't thought of it because I was just in the energy. The other reason, like I already mentioned, is your business, right? Having something to speak about, having something to sell at speaking events, having, something to share about at networking events too. And the last thing is like, of course, it's different than the business, but kind of related, but it's having that passive income on Amazon. Because even if you don't have a business, you can create this passive income for yourself. So you guys, that was my presentation. Thank you all for joining. I do want to share, I have 5 minutes left. So those of you, like I said, I have a special offer. It's a workshop to join me on July 20th at 1:30 p.m. PST. If you can't make that time or you're like, it's kind of tentative, but you want the information, the recording is going to be available. So it's a 90-minute workshop with me on Zoom. And at the end of the workshop, I'll do it for an hour. And at the end, I'm going to answer all of your questions, right? So this is a chance to get coaching, like intimate coaching with me, one-to-one. I'm so excited to get to know new people. I love, like, it's like Christmas to me when I first like get introduced to someone who wants to write their book and they send me their information, or I just like start hearing their stories. It's like Christmas for me. I just love it so much because I love learning about lives, and I love it. I love helping you honor your life, right? Like I really, truly, honestly, strongly, so deeply with my whole being believe that we don't go through difficult life experiences for nothing, right? Like we moved certain mountains so that we can share, when we're on the other side, we can share with others how to move their mountains. That's truly what I honestly believe. So there's that workshop. The link is in the workshop description above if you want to join. It's on July 20th. Again, the recording is included. It's available. It'll be emailed to you after the event. And I also do, like I said, finish your book coaching. So if you're writing a book and you're feeling stuck, or if you just want to write it yourself, but you want someone to mentor you as you go, I offer that. And I also offer the ghostwriting experience, which is my luxury experience. And that's like me doing everything for you. Okay. And by the way, both of those private and like mentoring experiences with me start with an intensive. I don't do anything without an intensive. And that means a 2-hour, 4-hour, or 6-hour session where you and I get together like this on video. The birds are just chirping away. And we connect and we like go, oh, like you just hash out your book ideas. You just like tell me everything. You tell me the guts of why you want to write this. You tell me what it was like. Like we go through all of it, right? Or maybe you just have an idea. You can use that session any way you want, right? And you don't even have to work with me after the session, by the way. You can purchase those and just have them on your own too. And just like, not follow up, but you can also purchase follow up too. So you can have texting or you can have phone mentoring. And I've been doing this for 10 years. And, for me, I've found because of my intensity and my passion that having an intensive session is the way that I create success and have created success. And if you want to go to my website, it's called Woohoo, It's Done. Or you can just put my name, GinaSilvestri.com. Who else is with me with buying domain names and just like fun ones, right? But basically just go there and you can read all the success stories. So it's lots of fun to see what's possible, right? In those success stories, like, yeah, like I can do it too. I can get over this freaking block that maybe I'm not meant to write this book, right? I can eliminate the myth once and for all so it doesn't come back into my consciousness and slowly erode away, my energy about writing this book and my truth and my like tuning into my own truth that this is what I was born to do. Okay, I think I'm going to close there. I have 2 minutes left. Let me see who's saying hi, if anyone's saying hi or who's here. Facebook doesn't always show me the comments too. Hi Laura, welcome. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you on a live yet. I'm just about to sign off. We have 30 minutes to do these lives, and I just finished my presentation, but hi, nice to see you. We've chatted online a couple times. But yeah, so that was my message today, you guys. Check out the links. I also included my free gift up top. Obviously gifts are free. Why do I say that free gift? It's so funny. My gift for you. It's called Stop Procrastinating, Start Really Living, and it's an audio gift. So if you sign up for that, you'll get the auto gift right away, and then you'll also get notifications for all of my other workshops that are coming up, all to do with removing blocks from you finishing your book and getting it out into the world so it can heal the world, right? So you can get your story out there, do what it's meant to do, and then you'll get the emails because this group is so busy, right? Like I know I tried to find a post afterwards. I was reading it or I was engaging with it and I can't find it again, right? So on my email list, you'll be guaranteed, and then I'll do my live streams here, and I'll have the deeper workshops, which are 90 minutes. I'll have those on Zoom. You guys, I love you. My time has just come to an end. Thank you for joining, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the comments, whether you're watching the replay or whether you're watching me live. And I've given you my website. You can also just comment below, or you can private message me too. I'd love to connect with you. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Thank you. Here's some Latin music as we go. My favorite. Bye. Bye-bye. See you soon. Bye. See you next time.